March 7th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including the search for Monroe robbery suspects, a hearing on regulating recreational marijuana in the state, a fundraiser for a Stratford man injured by a falling tree last week, and much more. Frank Granito has a look at your forecast, and later on a Nutmeg Sports Update, and Donald Ang will take a look back on this day in history. But first, the Monroe Police Department is asking for the public's help in identifying two men that were involved in a robbery on March 3rd. Police responded to the Henny Penny gas station at 241 Roosevelt Drive for the report of a robbery just after midnight. The clerk said two individuals were involved in the robbery, during which a physical altercation with the clerk took place. Police said the suspects then fled the scene in a silver four-door sedan, possibly a Ford 500. The police obtained the surveillance video and are seeking help from the public in identifying those suspects. They're asking anyone with information to contact their detective division at 203-452-2831. And a Bridgeport man has been arrested for his involvement in a string of commercial burglaries in Shelton and neighboring towns on Monday, March 6th. Shelton police arrested 48-year-old Stephen Carlotto of Bridgeport in connection to three commercial burglaries dating back to April 2016. Carlotto, who was already in custody on another arrest, was charged when he was in court for similar charges. That arrest stems from two commercial break-ins to the Chinatown restaurant and Shanghai Gardens restaurant in Shelton. He was arrested by Shelton police for also breaking into Rita's Italian Ice during September of last year. Local police departments were investigating a spree of commercial burglaries during the same time period and developed Carlotto as a suspect. And the Stratford community is raising money to assist a Stratford resident who sustained serious injuries last Thursday when a van he was in was hit by a tree on the Wilbur Cross Parkway. Chris Schofield's wife, Lisa, has started a GoFundMe page to assist her husband after he was injured. According to state police, Schofield and his business partner, Dominic Andriazzi, were heading south in a van on Route 15 at about 9:30 in the morning when a pine tree snapped and fell on the van. Photos from the scene were shared by Connecticut State Police. Police said the road was clear, but winds were gusting between 55 and 60 miles per hour, and both men sustained serious injuries. Lisa Schofield said she started the page to help raise money for Chris's medical bills. On the page, she said her husband will be at Yale New Haven Hospital for about 2 weeks and won't be home for at least 2 months, as he will have to go to a rehabilitation facility to continue recovery, as the Schofields live in a third-floor apartment on Disbrow Street. The Schofields have two sons, Jackson and Jordan. You can find out how to help at StratfordStar.com. And a 47-year-old East Hartford man has been charged with filming upskirt videos of children at a Connecticut Walmart. During September 2016, the Hartford Police Department responded to Walmart in Hartford after receiving reports of a male video recording female children in the store with a cell phone. The accused, John Bean, was arrested and his cell phone was seized. Members of the Homeland Security Investigations conducted a forensic examination of Bean's cell phone and found voyeuristic videos of female children being recorded in public places within the store. A review of those videos revealed there were 4 containing upskirt footage of female children while they were shopping at Walmart and other stores. Through the course of the investigation, it was determined that Bean was the one who had taken those videos of the female children. On March 6, he was served with a warrant and charged with 4 counts of voyeurism and 4 counts of risk of injury to a minor. And in other news, the Public Health Committee of the Connecticut General Assembly is scheduled to hold a hearing today on House Bill 5314, one of 4 proposals to regulate and tax marijuana for adult use that have been introduced this year in the General Assembly. Prior to the hearing, the sponsors of all 4 measures joined additional lawmakers and the newly formed Connecticut Coalition to Regulate Marijuana for a news conference around 9:30. HB 5314, sponsored by State Representative Melissa Zebrin, a Republican from East Haddam, directs the Department of Consumer Protection to establish a regulated system of marijuana cultivation and sales for adults 21 years of age and older. The Department of Revenue Services would create a tax structure that would generate revenue for the state and certain municipalities. Zebrin and the sponsors of 3 similar proposals, who include Senate President Pro Tem Martin Looney and Reps Juan Candelaria and Tony Walker, have agreed to work together, they say, to end marijuana prohibition in Connecticut and ensure whichever bill moves forward will create the best system possible for regulating and taxing marijuana. And a Stratford woman was arrested on a warrant March 5th for allegedly stealing money from the Milford Transit District, where she worked collecting money for train station parking. Melissa Drinkwater, 33 years old, of Stony Brook Road in Stratford, was charged with larceny in the 3rd degree. She's accused of taking about $4,500 from Milford Transit while working as an employee who was collecting funds for people who purchased their parking passes at the train station. Drinkwater is accused of taking the cash between November and December of 2016. And in New Canaan, after a marathon 3-hour sober house session on Monday at Town Hall that was at times intense, emotional, and exhausting, the New Canaan Zoning Board of Appeals decided to continue the meeting to next month and seek its own independent legal counsel. The ZBA was considering the appeal by Tom Harrow, a neighbor to the sober house at 909 West Road, seeking that a decision by town planner Steve Palmer allowing the sober house to operate without first going through P&Z be overturned. Palmer and town attorney Ira Bloom gave presentations along with a lawyer representing Harrow and other neighbors. Many citizens gave their views, as did the owners of the sober house, the Lighthouse. Bloom was challenged on several issues by Harrow's lawyer as well as by a citizen who said he was a lawyer in New York. Bloom and the citizen lawyer argued back and forth at one point, and Bloom later advised the ZBA members to consider getting their own legal counsel, which they decided to do. The New Canaan Advertiser is going to have more on that story later this week and in this week's paper. Well, let's switch gears now and throw it over to Frank Granito for a look at the forecast. Frank.
Well, thank you, Kate. Mostly cloudy out today, and we're going to see periods of rain to go along with it. Temperatures in the high 40s, and we can expect this morning's scattered showers to continue on through the afternoon. Overcast tonight with a low of 40 degrees, and there is a chance for 1 or 2 more showers before midnight, but skies should start to clear up heading into Wednesday morning. Wednesday will be warmer out with temperatures reaching into the mid-50s. An early morning cloud cover will make way for periods of sun throughout the afternoon, but very windy out tomorrow. Breezes between 25 to 30 miles per hour, gusts possibly reaching up into the 50 mile per hour range. Partly cloudy overnight and chilly again with wind gusts between 20 to 25 miles per hour and a low of 24 before Thursday morning. Much of the same expected again on Thursday. Sunny skies and high winds during the day. A high of 52 before cooling down overnight into the low 20s with a chance for some snow flurries overnight as we head into a cold weekend around Fairfield County that could feature some more rain and snow before it's over. That's going to do it for this weather update. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, we're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Eng takes a look back on this day in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and we have more local news, including a former Easton resident featured in CNBC's American Greed show. That coming up after this.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. MrHandymanCT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? Skep Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, skepchryslerjeep.com or skepdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the spring clearance event and Ram Truck Month, now through March 31st.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
While there's still a bite out on the water, most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get a fix for summer. Boater, bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web DocShop.com.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Recently renovated and home to one of Connecticut's largest indoor turf fields, InSports is a multi-sport recreation center providing state-of-the-art facilities for league play, camps, and youth programs. Sign your child up now for InSports Future Stars Basketball Academy, teaching skills on the basketball court for boys and girls ages 5 through 9. Visit InSportsCenters.com for more information on this 7-week program. And for adults, spots are also still available for our men's 30 and over and 40 and over leagues. Like and follow us on Facebook. I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ng for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Thursday, where we bring you all the top stories from Connecticut sports.
From highlights to player interviews and expert analysis, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, now Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
Welcome back to this March 7th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and it's time to throw it over to Donald Ng to take a look back on this day in history. Don.
Well, Kate, it was 30 years ago that a 20-year-old was on top of the world, briefly. First, though, we go to 321 that year. Emperor Constantine decrees that Dies Solis Invicti, the day of the undefeated sun, that's his favorite Roman god, undefeated sun, is an official rest day every week throughout the empire. That's Sol there. He may have some familiar features if you're an American. Interestingly, Sol was not one of the ancient Roman gods. He'd only been recognized as a god for about 45 years. Constantine made December 25th his festival day. To 1970, Slovenian Vinko Bogota crashes on the third jump of a competition in Oberstdorf, West Germany. He would suffer a broken ankle and a concussion, but would gain eternal fame as the agony of defeat jumper on ABC's Wide World of Sports. For the next 28 years, dozens of clips were used in the opening to highlight the thrill of victory. Vinko would remain the illustration of the agony of defeat for that entire time. Now, living behind the Iron Curtain, he didn't know he was famous until the 20th anniversary Wide World of Sports show, where he was invited to a reception and Muhammad Ali asked him for his autograph. 1985, the song We Are the World released internationally, featuring 40 musicians and Dan Aykroyd. The song raised $63 million and funded recovery programs in 7 African nations, including assistance in agriculture, fishing, birth control, water management, manufacturing, and reforestation. Finally, now we go to 1987 for this.
119, 107 for the new WBA, WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
A popular verdict, at least the result was popular, not so much the way the result was attained.
That, of course, was 20-year-old Mike Tyson, who on this day defeated James Bone Crusher Smith to unify the WBA and WBC heavyweight titles. Already the youngest ever heavyweight champion after winning a title at just 19 years old, Tyson became the youngest undisputed heavyweight champ in boxing history. In the next year, he would defend the belt 4 times, including wins over Larry Holmes and Michael Spinks, but by the end of 1988 had already begun his tailspin with a quickie marriage and divorce, allegations of domestic violence, an arrest for street fighting, 2 car crashes, and at least 1 suicide attempt. But on this day 30 years ago, Mike Tyson on top of the world. That is your look back in history for today, March 7th, and I'm Donald Ng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, in other local news, Georgetown and Reading have struggled for decades to find new life for the former Gilbert and Bennett wire mill. As frustrated residents know too well, this is not for lack of effort through boom markets and bust. Large-scale all-in development has been tried twice over a 30-year span at that wire mill site. According to a brownfield expert, these massive, highly capitalized projects have not turned out to be the silver bullets they were supposed to be, not only in Georgetown, but in brownfield sites across the country. Well, neither option offers Reading and Georgetown the much-needed commercial development that balances out the town's heavily skewed tax base, with the town currently deriving 89.8% of its revenue from residential property taxes. Well, brownfield expert Niall Kirkwood and 22-year Reading resident Jane Philbrick, commissioned by the Connecticut DCD in 2013 and 2014 to re-envision a plan for the Gilbert and Bennett wire mill, have assembled a multidisciplinary team to deliver a fresh approach to revitalization. A presentation and community-wide conversation will be held at the Reading Community Center on Sunday, March 26th from 4 to 6 p.m. You can get more information at thereadingpilot.com. Let's throw it back over to Frank Granito now for an Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. We were live at Richfield High School last night for the opening round of the Class Double L Boys Basketball Tournament, and we had another great one on our hands. It was the FCX champion Ridgefield Tigers hosting the Shelton Gales in the number 15 versus number 18 game. Once again, the Tigers would find themselves trailing entering the fourth quarter and in need of another heroic comeback. Despite tying the game up in the final 3 minutes, the clock finally struck midnight on the Cardiac Cats as Brian Burrito for Shelton collected a rebound and sprinted the floor in the final 5 seconds, hitting a circus layup at the buzzer to give the Gales their first state tournament win since 2001. Here are the highlights from last night's game.
Talked about Ladowdy with the rebound down low. He needs to be able to capitalize with his size advantage as a three-pointer knocked down by the junior Brennan McNamara. So go inside, Martinez kicks to the corner, three-pointer on the way, good.
Wow, what great ball movement. Brian Burrito gets his first bucket of the night, three-pointer. That's a big three for him.
They defeated Xavier by a score of 55-54, the alley-oop. Great right from Essen player.
Pretty play there. Traveling with this team throughout the FCI playoffs. A big bucket for McNamara there. What a great first half.
Outside, Ryan Murphy, three-pointers, good.
Don't leave him open, he'll hit that all night long.
And a double dribble call here on Chris Longo. Reminiscent of Matt Cronenberg in the FCX championship right there. Ridgefield has gone to double overtime in their last 2 games. Longo open for 3. Gets it to go.
Woo! Senior captain. We're in the big 3-4. Knocking down a big 3. Don't leave it in the corner with Ladowdy. Gotta swing it back out.
Essen player trying to go down low. Runner in the lane off the mark. Rebound to the Gales. Up ahead. Driving to the rack. And it goes at the buzzer!
Unbelievable finish there by Burrito. He was laser focused on that net. I can't believe the amount of focus he just showed right there.
Wow, what a finish. The sophomore, Frank. The sophomore gets it done. Wow.
The scoop layup high off the backboard, falling through right as time expires. And the dream season for the Tigers has come to an end. The Shelton Gales end a 16-year playoff drought.
3 Shelton players scored in double figures with Armando Martinez, Jeff Stockmel, and David Burrito leading the way offensively. But it was defense that proved to be the difference as Shelton's zone caused all kinds of headaches in the first half for the Tigers offense. Shelton will now travel to New Haven on Wednesday night to take on the second-seeded Hillhouse Academics. Darien, Trumbull, Danbury, and Fairfield Ward all advanced to the second round from the FCAC, and St. Joe's picked up a win in the Class M tournament. Wilton and Trinity Catholic will be in action tonight as the Class L and Class S tournaments tip off. The HAN Network will be live at Trumbull High on Wednesday night for the number 6 Eagles second round game against number 22 Fairfield Prep. Congratulations to the Trinity Catholic hockey team as well, who won their first game in the Division III tournament. And Kate, we have our Week 8 Athlete of the Week winners. They were Javon Hernandez of the Danbury boys basketball team and Taylor Brown of the Trumbull girls basketball team. Hernandez scored 21 points to help tip the 7th seed Hatters towards a 59-56 upset over number 2 Darien in the FCAC quarterfinals last week. Taylor Brown named the tournament MVP after Trumbull defeated Stanford 44-35 in the FCAC championship. Brown had 7 points in the final and a team-high 11 in the semis, including the game-tying three-pointer with 3 seconds to play in overtime as Trumbull would go on to defeat Fairfield Ward 36-34 in triple overtime. So congratulations to Javon and Taylor. We'll have our Week 9 nominees for you this afternoon on Nutmeg Sports, plus a complete breakdown of last night's game seen here on the HAN Network. That's going to do it for this Nutmeg Sports update. Let's send it back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, the Ridgefield Firefighters Union has filed a complaint with the State Department of Labor objecting to changes in procedures for calling in off-duty paid firefighters and asking the State Board of Labor Relations to order the town to negotiate the changes with the union. The prohibited practice complaint concerns changes to the SOP, or Standard Operating Procedure, that date back to February 6th. It was signed by Ridgefield firefighter Ed Marquito, who is the president of the Firefighters Union. The complaint says that firefighters believe the procedure threatens the health and safety of its members and is working to change in working conditions that the town has not negotiated. The new procedure changed a long-standing practice of calling in off-duty firefighters when on-duty units are unavailable due to call volume. First Selectman Rudy Marconi said the town hadn't met with the union over the complaint and hadn't yet been informed by the state. He offered some explanation of the changes to call-in procedures. The career department has 34 members, excluding the chief, assistant chief, fire marshal, and longtime administrative worker. The firefighters work in 24-hour shifts, and it's a requirement that 2 firefighters go out on any vehicle that leaves a fire station. Marconi said due to this being an active case with possible negotiation implications, he was limited in what he could say. But there's more on that story at theridgefieldpress.com. And CNBC's American Greed television show featured the case of former Easton resident Greg Lowles last night on CNBC, according to Thomas Carson, the public information officer in the U.S. Department of Justice. 56-year-old Lowles is serving a 25-year prison sentence, followed by 3 years of supervised release for defrauding investors, including his church, of about $27 million. Lowles had been detained since his arrest on December 15, 2009, and on July 26, 2011, he pleaded guilty to 1 count of mail fraud, wire fraud, and 1 count of securities fraud, as well as money laundering. Lowles falsely represented to numerous victim investors, including friends and fellow parishioners of his church in Orange, Connecticut, that he would act as their investment advisor and invest their money through Aperion Capital Management, Inc., which he owned. He was to invest those funds in various securities, including arbitrage bonds, which he represented would provide investors with a safe and steady return. Lowles was also selected to serve on the board of the church's endowment fund and was entrusted to manage the church's investment funds, including the endowment and building fund, by investing, among other things, arbitrage bonds. Instead of investing that money, however, as promised, the court documents say Lowles used the money to fund his farmbacker Lowles operation, to pay personal expenses, and to purchase a large home with a pool, tennis court, and multi-car garage for his sports cars. Some of the individual investors lost their life savings. You can get more on his story at eastoncourier.com. And in Ridgefield, alternating one-way traffic can be expected to return at the Route 35 bridge repair project by the Fox Hill condominiums this week. Bayer Construction, the project's contractor, is scheduling alternating one-way traffic now through Friday, March 10th, weather permitting. Ryan Wojcinski of the State Department of Transportation notified the town last Friday. Work at that site requiring alternating traffic is usually scheduled to start after the morning commuter rush is over and end before the afternoon commute starts. Well, we are going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following on your coffee break after this.
We told Dad he could have his office back if he sold 150 cars last month.
Deal's a deal.
Well, Dad, you did it. You get your office back.
Forget it. I'm having too much fun down here. My new goal, 160 cars.
Wow.
Folks, if you ever wanted a great price on a new Nissan, now is the time.
Right now, lease a 2017 Altima 2.5S for only $99 a month.
Isn't it time you got Millerized?
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Make your St. Patrick's Day truly authentic with a wee bit of real Irish food, proper Irish-style rashers, sausage, and soda bread right from Ireland. Put down the corned beef and grab a boiling bacon to have what they really eat in the Emerald Isle. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
Whether you're looking for the freshest seafood, the perfect steak, or want to share delicious appetizers, look no further than the Stone's Throw in Seymour. Chef Peter Hom has more than 30 years of experience creating original recipes in his American eclectic style. Our dishes are made from scratch with fresh, local ingredients that pair perfectly with a seasonal craft beer, a signature cocktail, or your favorite wine. When you visit our Riverside location, you'll feel like you're on vacation when you're only a stone's throw from home. Visit us on Roosevelt Drive in Seymour or at stonesThrowCT.com. At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network, and we've also reached more than 2 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to this Tuesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. The Monroe Police Department is asking for the public's help in identifying 2 men that were involved in a robbery on March 3rd. Police responded to the Henny Penny gas station on Roosevelt Drive for the report of a robbery just after midnight. The clerk said 2 individuals were involved, and during that, a physical altercation with the clerk took place. Police said the suspects then fled the scene in a silver 4-door sedan, possibly a Ford 500. The police obtained the surveillance videos and are seeking assistance from the public in identifying them. Anyone who knows who they might be is asked to contact the Monroe Detective Division at 203-452-2831. And a Bridgeport man has been arrested for his involvement in a string of commercial burglaries in Shelton and neighboring towns. Shelton police arrested 48-year-old Stephen Carlotto of Bridgeport in connection to 3 commercial burglaries dating back to April 2016. Carlotto, who was already in custody on another arrest, was charged when he was in court for similar charges. The arrest stems from 2 commercial break-ins to the Chinatown restaurant and Shanghai Gardens restaurant in Shelton. He was arrested by Shelton police for breaking into Rita's Italian Ice during September of last year. Local police departments were investigating a spree of commercial burglaries during that time and developed Carlotto as a suspect. And the Stratford community is raising money to help a Stratford resident who sustained serious injuries last Thursday when a van he was in was hit by a tree on the Wilbur Cross Parkway. Chris Schofield's wife Lisa has started a GoFundMe page to help her husband after he was injured. According to state police, Schofield and his business partner Dominic Andriozzi were heading south in a van on Route 15 about 9:30 in the morning when a pine tree snapped and fell on the van. Police said the road was clear, but winds were gusting between 55 and 60 miles per hour that morning, and both men sustained serious injuries. Lisa Schofield said she started the page to help raise money for Chris's medical bills. Lisa said her husband will be at Yale New Haven Hospital for about 2 weeks and won't be home for at least 2 months, as he will have to go to a rehabilitation facility to continue his recovery. You can find out how to help at StratfordStar.com. And a 47-year-old East Hartford man has been charged with filming upskirt videos of children at a Connecticut Walmart. During September 2016, the Hartford Police Department responded to the Walmart store in Hartford after receiving reports of a man video recording female children with a cell phone. The accused, John Bean, was arrested and his cell phone was seized. Members of Homeland Security Investigations conducted a forensic examination of Bean's cell phone and found voyeuristic videos of female children being recorded in public places. A review review of those voyeuristic videos revealed that there were 4 videos containing upskirt footage of female children while they were shopping in Walmart and other stores. Through the course of the investigation, it was determined that Bean was the one who had taken those videos. On March 6th, he was served a warrant and charged with 4 counts of voyeurism and 4 counts of risk of injury to a minor. And the Public Health Committee of the Connecticut General Assembly is scheduled to hold a hearing today on House Bill 5314, one of 4 proposals to regulate and tax marijuana for adult use that have been introduced this year in the General Assembly. Prior to the hearing, the sponsors of all 4 measures joined additional lawmakers and newly formed Connecticut Coalition to Regulate Marijuana for a news conference earlier this morning. HB 5314, sponsored by State Representative Melissa Zebrun, a Republican from East Haddam, directs the Department of Consumer Protection to establish a regulated system of marijuana cultivation and sales for adults 21 years of age and older. The Department of Revenue Services would then create a tax structure that would generate revenue for the state and certain municipalities. Let's throw it back over to Frank Granito for one final look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. Again, mostly cloudy out today with periods of rain to go along with it. Temperatures in the high 40s, and we can expect this morning scattered showers to continue on through the afternoon. Overnight, we'll see a low of 40 degrees, and it'll be overcast with a chance for 1 or 2 more showers before midnight, as skies will start to clear up heading into Wednesday morning. Very windy out on Wednesday and a little bit warmer too. Temperatures in the mid-50s, but we'll see winds ranging anywhere between 30 to 50 miles per hour. Partly cloudy overnight and chilly as it is windy as well. A low of 24 before Thursday, and we'll see plenty more of the same on Thursday. Sunny skies and high winds again. Temperatures in the low 50s, winds right around 35 miles per hour. Cooling down overnight into the low 20s with a chance for some snow flurries as we head towards a very cold weekend around Fairfield County.
Frank, thank you so much. Well, coming up at 12:30, The Drive with Denise is back, and her guest, Kate Shapiro, the daughter of Eartha Kitt, joins her to talk about her relationship with her mother and a lot more. Of course, Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock, and we'll see you for